Hey, this is Adam Hahn, your Explode My Business coach here. I was just watching a DVD today from Success University, and Johnny Wimbrey, who's a ambassador for Success University, he was talking about how he didn't want, one of the biggest motivations for him was how he didn't want his children to start off their lives with just a bad memory, or a memory full of pain and suffering. Because I guess when he said when he was growing up, his first memory was when he was about 3.5 years old, and he was growing up inside a battered wives shelter, unfortunately. So he was surrounded by pain, he was surrounded by drama, suffering, he was surrounded by, just a bad family life, to the nth degree, so to speak. And he was talking about how I believe one of his daughters just turned about 3.5, around that same age he was, and they were on a yacht for a Success University trip. I think one of the first ambassador trips. And it was very, very incredible just to think about how much my children's memories, or my children's image, is such a big motivator for me. And you know what? I keep saying my children, but you know what? I don't have any kids yet. But I know it's in the future for me. I know it's in my goals, and the only way that I'm going to be able to make that possible is by doing the day-to-day actions that's going to help me accomplish my goals and get me closer to being able to have a family, getting closer to drive the cars that I want to drive, and to be in the house that I want to be in, and be able to travel, to the places I want to go to. So one of the things I wanted to touch on was just the powerful image that portrays, because a lot of people talk about vision. You need to have a vision, you need to believe and achieve, and you need to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to like where you end up. And you hear a lot of these very quotes, these cliches, and it's very hard to visualize or materialize these thoughts in your brain. Well, what do they mean? Well, you got to have vision. Yeah, I'm like, I can see myself, being successful. I can see myself with a lot of money in the bank, but visualizing yourself as successful, having a lot of money in the bank, it's not like you visualize yourself looking at your bank account on your computer screen when you're doing your online banking and seeing a bigger number. That's not really visualizing. And visualizing is materializing an image so clear and so vivid that it's already a memory in your mind of something that occurred. And one of the things that I always talk about with people that are on my team about how I started to materialize a memory from, starting with a goal, moving it into a goal, taking a goal and starting to move it towards a thought, and starting to move that towards a vision, and materializing that vision in my mind, and that whole process. And how I did that is I thought of where I was when I was first starting my business, and why one of the big motivators for me in starting my business. And I said, I was in so much college debt, I wasn't making any money in my full-time job, and just barely enough to get by. I said, I need to make enough money so I can be able to afford the life that I want, meaning I wanted to be able to afford a family. And I was at a point in my life where I said there was absolutely no way that I could have kids with my wife comfortably, and affordably, unless we made a huge, big financial move in our lives. And when you think of a goal like this, the reason I'm using the kids example is because you need to have a goal that is bigger than you. And I know I've heard that cliche a couple of times. What I mean by that is, ask, your parents, if, or think, you don't even have to ask them, think what can be better in their lives. Are they sick? Are they going to be sick? Do you know that they smoke and they're going to be sick, later in life? Is there a history of problems in sickness in your family with some kind of diseases? There's stuff that you need to plan for now. So when you start having the vision like, oh, I'm fine, I can kind of deal with my life as it is, that's not a big enough dream. You need to have a big enough dream that's bigger than yourself. If you guys ever remember seeing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, at the end when Indiana Jones had to like be humble before God and duck, and he ducks underneath the sword, and then he does the next thing, which I can't remember for some reason. I just remember him having to go and jump that leap of faith, and he's like, oh, I can't do this. This is impossible. Blah blah blah. And then they say, your father's dying, because Sean Connery, his father, had gotten shot in the stomach, and he was dying a slow death, and he needed to get the cup to save him. He needed to get the Holy Grail and the holy water to save his father. So when his dream became bigger than him, it was, if he doesn't do this and have the faith in himself to do this, his father's going to die. When you have that kind of perception, you got a dream that's bigger than you. So think of a goal that's bigger than you.